Hello, this is Group 6 and the team members are Amit, Karthik, Manish, Rishabh and Varun. Before we get to the demo, let's first see the status of our database on the server. So our database name is CSE535 group6.db and it was last updated at 9:45 as we can see in the last entry. And let's get to the file explorer and see if we go to Android data, we can see that there are no 366 CSE535 folders over here. Now let's get to the application. If we start the application, it asks for permission. We allow them, and then we can add some values over here. Let's say we give these values, and we give these values. And if we click on run, it starts to plot the graph. And if we move the phone, the graph gets plotted continuously. And if we stop it, it stops the graph and clears off the graph. Now what we can do is we can upload this to the database. Now if we click on upload button, the database has been uploaded. And if we go back to the Chrome and we refresh the page, we can see that the last update has been modified to 9:54 p.m. If we come back to this, what we can do is we can click on run again and it will keep plotting from the exact point where it was earlier. Now we can move the graph again and we can stop as we want. Now what we can do is we can download the database from the server. If we click on download database, what will happen is the download will be done and the graph will be plotted for the last 10 seconds. If we get to the file explorer part and if we see that, we can see that there are two folders over here, CSE535 assignment 2 and CSE535 assignment 2 down. So if we go to these, we can see that this is one of the folders that is our database, and this is the download folder, which also contains our CSE535 group 6 database. Now let's get to the demo.
Hi, this is Manish. I'm here to discuss helper class and its components. Firstly, coming to the upload class, it encapsulates the file in HTTP post request and sends it to the server over a HTTP URL connection object in a multi-port form data. We open the connection to the server and then we add the headers and send the file. We receive the response from the server and send it to the main activity. And now coming to a download file. It downloads the file from the server using HTTP connection and saves the file at the targeted location. Receipt graph takes in the queue and current index and creates an 2D array of data point objects from the queue where each row specifies the X, Y, and Z values. Evaluation permission request and response evaluates whether the requested permission are granted or not. If any permission is not granted, it returns false. Hi, this is Varun. I created the database helper class, which initializes the database, find the SD card path, and open or creates the database at desired location in the SD card. So another part was to create the SQL table for the patient. It creates a table with timestamp X, Y, Z, value of accelerometer data, and insert it into the database. And there was another function which is called get accelerometer data from the DB, which is the downloaded data. For this given DB, it reads the recent 10 recordings from the database and returns a key object to the main activity. There is also an interface called graph update callback for controlling the graph and is being implemented by the main activity. Another interface was sensor manager callback interface, which is implemented by the main activity and tells the desired service to a requested class. And there was another class called patient info, which captures the info and of the patient like name, sex, ID, and stores the info to the database.
Hi, I'm Rishabh Modi and I will explain the control graph function, the onRun function and the onStop function. The onRun function disables the non-required buttons, verifies the patient info and creates the patient object. After that, it creates the patient table and starts the service to record the accelerometer data. The onStop function creates a new intent object with the intent of stopping the running service. It invokes the stop service method. It also disables and enables the buttons in the UI as required. We have created a control graph function which is responsible for the graph plotting within the application. In this function, if the current execution state is true, we add the accelerometer data to the queue, reset the graph, and add the new data to all the three data series class objects. Each object represents the x, y, and z axis. If the current execution state is false, we create a dummy data point and clear the graph by resetting the data points of all the three objects.
Hi, my name is Karthik and this is the accelerometer part. The broadcast receiver, this keeps broadcast active after returning from the function. Then we insert data into the database. These are the XYZ values and this inserts the data into the database. The accelerometer update or the accelerometer service class is extended using the services. The onStart command method is used which is used to start the service, and the onSensor changed function, this is the event which gets called on the accelerometer position change and reads the values which are x, y and z values and broadcasts those values into the graph. The send broadcast is used to broadcast the data to the graph. The on accuracy changed method is called when the accuracy of the registered sensor has changed, and the on bind service is to obtain a persistent connection. Thank you.
Hi, this is Amit, and I'm going to talk about the main activity class. And on create, the activity, all the layouts are being defined, all the layouts are initialized, they are defined, and the graph properties are set. And also the register and the receiver is being registered over here. Then we also handle the application permission request over here, like write external storage and write internal read external storage and the internet. Also, we have to handle the upload click event. So in this, we create a sync task which uploads the file in a different thread onto the server. On post completion of the task, we notify the user on the application. In the on download click, we again create the desired folder in the desired location, and we invoke a async task which downloads the file from the server in a separate thread, and on completion of the thread, uh, it queries the database on from the main method, and it plots the last 10 points as returned by the get accelerometer data from db function. So we plot this on the graph, and this is a static graph.